Okay, this is WIKISPEED stand-up, Thursday, January 18th. Take it away, Michael.
Okay, I just realized that I no longer have fuzz in the background. I'm going to change that. There we go. It's Michael Olchuk, Saskatoon, Canada. I'm actually home again this time. Stand up for last week. I posted last week's video stand up. The pump runtime monitor, I finally ran out of battery juice. It ran 38 messages an hour for 87 hours. And the deep sleep and power saving stuff seems to have worked quite well, except I have a bug where it was printing out every 110 seconds instead of just printing it out when it was changing. So I fixed that and started it again, and after about 10 minutes, I guess, it started logging every 110 seconds again. But I didn't notice for about 3 hours, and I didn't get around to fixing it. So I still have a problem. It's just going to be more annoying to fix it. Didn't get anything done on the WikiSpeed website, although that was supposed to be number one priority. And I haven't added anything to Trello, unfortunately. Next week, I'm hoping to get work done on the website. If we can find a way to get the submitted forms sent to us somehow. Pump runtime again, and I'd like to get the Christmas sign done for my wife so that she's agreeable with me going to TechWorks as much as I am. Blocks, helping out at TechWorks with a project, and the scope increased a bit, so I spent a fair bit of time there this week. I just didn't get time to do the WikiSpeed stuff, and actually for next week, I'm out of town Friday to Sunday at my grandson's hockey tournament, and there is probably going to be a little bit of work at TechWorks again later next week, so probably won't get a whole lot done, but I'm hopefully going to get something done on the website. Over to you.
That's Lawrence Salter, Gabriel, Island, British Columbia, Canada.
You're pretty quiet.
Lawrence Salter, Gabriel, Island, British Columbia, Canada. And past week, just a little bit on the Sunfounder. Didn't get around to contacting Joe, and coming week, and I hope to work some more on the Sunfounder. I did try and figure out one thing that I'm going to talk about crosstalk offline, and blocks are that my fridge quit, and we had a snowstorm that we're not used to here. So, like in Vancouver, 10 centimeters of snow, and cars were abandoned. So,
Uh-huh.
so anyway, those are the blocks. The weather report is there's still some stuff coming, lots of rain, and it's unclear when the snow is going to disappear. But anyway, that probably will not affect me too much in the coming week. And I do have a block about this screw that on the wheel in the Sunfounder that I'm going to talk about in crosstalk, and that's it for me.
Okay. Retro, I got 2 out of my 4 points done for last week, 1 for attending stand-up, so I'm going to give myself a 6. I'm going to go with 8 for the team. And process improvements, still not really a process improvement, but we need to get the website up and running before we try gather everybody on the WikiSpeed mailing list again. So back to you.
Yeah, so for myself, I'll do 4, and the team an 8, and I agree on the process improvement. And unless there's something you want to talk about, crosstalk on online, then I'll end the recording.
Well, we can talk about weather. Um, the past couple of weeks have been quite cold. Um, we've gone down. I don't think we hit minus 40, but I think we hit minus 38. So the range on the electric car is actually not bad, like the Tesla. Um, it's just that when you leave it somewhere for 4 hours and it gets really cold, the energy use kind of sucks after that. So um, basically, we've been getting about half. If you count in warming up and the not very efficient usage after it's been sitting out in the cold for a while. But there are a lot of vehicles that aren't nearly as reliable as everybody thought they were, littering the sides of the roads all over the place. Um, Lots and lots of people found out their 12-volt battery wasn't up to snuff, wouldn't start. Lots and lots of people found out that their antifreeze wasn't quite up to snuff, and they froze their rads. And it's you'd think it had never been winter around here. I don't know.
So I I had a little Toyota, and I wasn't. I didn't have any way, like a lift, to get under the car and put in a block heater where it should go. So I was in Canadian Tire, and there was this thing. It was a little pump that you put into the hose, the coolant hose, and it pumped warm coolant through the thing continuously.
Okay.
And then when a mechanic saw it, he said, "You've got a heater here for like a semi." It was a Toyota Corolla original.
So, but it was nice and toasty warm, right?
It was good for the coolant. It didn't help with the gluey feel of the transmission when
No.
of the standard transmission when you got in.
Yeah. Well, you got to choose your fights, choose your battles.
So here, the thing here was the cold. It was minus 14 for 2 nights,
Ooh.
which
Wow.
is the coldest it's been. I've seen it here. I've seen it minus 8, maybe minus 10 for a night. But this was like 2 nights, 14 below. And so the one restaurant where you can have breakfast, pipes burst. And this is interesting because like some people took it over who are really good cooks, but they didn't want to open in the evening for various things. They've got kids and stuff. So they close at 3. So this never happened. And their restaurant is the place where everyone gathers when there's a snowstorm or a power outage. But because it's 3 in the afternoon till 7 in the morning, it was unattended and nobody, I guess, I don't know if they knew to leave on the water, because the trick here is you leave the taps dripping if it's cold. And
Apparently they didn't get the memo.
I put a space heater in my crawl space. I have heating tape on an outside portion of my pipe from my cistern. And
your cistern probably didn't like that very much either.
the only problem I've had is it's like big, so that's not enough to freeze it.
Well, it's not enough to freeze it solid, but it might be enough to freeze around the edges and possibly the part where the hose comes out.
The hose comes out the top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It doesn't come out the bottom. It comes out the top. Okay. It gets pumped. That's basically, there's a pump in the basement that I just had to replace in the spring because it had gone like 12 years or something, and they're really only good for 8 or 10 years. Anyway, that kicks on. Like every time you flush the toilet, that kicks on and pumps more water into the pressure tank.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so fingers crossed. The things are melting. I've had problems with snow melting with super cooled water over the outside pipe, but I've insulated and put the heating tape on. So it should be buried, but it's not buried. And then I don't know how you're going to bury it when it's coming from the top of the cistern. So I've got a bunch of insulation on it, and basically just keep the tap
Yeah.
stripping, so the pump kicks on every 10 minutes. And so I'm going to have a big power bill this month, because also my heat pump started. It's still they're still trying to get a guy to diagnose this. The guy came and said, take a picture when it froze up, because it was unfrozen and working when he came. So I took pictures. He showed it to the guy. He says low refrigerant maybe, but he still hasn't come, and he was supposed to come this week, but with the snow and everything, and all the plumbers or anybody to do with frozen
Heat.
pipes, I saw one of them at the hardware store, and he said he turned his phone off. So, because there's a lot of new people here, a lot of people who've just bought in the last since the pandemic. Anyway,
And they don't know anything, and they don't know what they don't know.
they're like me when I got here.
Yeah. Anyway, we can stop recording and go to your crosstalk if you want.
Yeah, but that was interesting. And actually, oh yeah, I can say this. I did read an article. I found an article this week. I don't know if I can get it for you on Tesla performance in the cold, because that was one of the questions about the Tesla. And so there was somebody in the States who drove across the northern states at low temperatures with the Tesla, and he reported on it. He said it was better than he expected.
There was a guy in Edmonton that did that as well.
Yeah.
He parked it outside when it was like minus 42.
Right.
And he lost like 5% overnight and another 2% getting it warmed up so he could actually drive somewhere.
Right.
I guess I'm just kind of a wimp, because I lose more than that. And even just overnight with the cameras on,
Right.
to detect if somebody's doing something nasty to it, it seems to lose like 2%. Even when it's not cold.
Because you told
1%,
me the key was, if you travel somewhere in the cold, take it to the charging station while it's warmed up.
Yes.
Charge it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'll stop there and talk about the boring issue. So stop recording.